So that's all I'm going to play of that. We're coming into you live on the Book Faces, also recording for a podcast. So we'll get that out, man, I don't know, maybe tomorrow at some point. Season 2, episode 21, We Can All Drink, which is good because we're officially sponsored by Northwoods, I think. So
whether they know it or not.
Whether they want it or not, I guess, really.
Unwanted advertisement.
Yeah, I mean, what more could they ask for? So the song Money, I don't know. I sort of mentioned it today. I swung by to the Small Engines of Elliott's. There's some stocks happenings, and I don't know how much you know about stocks. If you follow stocks, if you trade stocks, if you do anything with stocks. So I got addicted to it early in the pandemics, and I made a good bit of money off of a couple stocks that I saw just plummet, and I said, I just think they're going to make it through this, and so let's buy them very low and sell them high. And
I sell high.
I got out early on a couple, which, and I mean, early is a relative term. Like, I mean, if I go to my portfolio, which is not huge, and it was not a ton of money, but my all-time unrealized and realized gain is plus 224%. So that's, I mean, something's right there. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of times where I've, like, actually today I regretted not putting more money in on a stock that I bought today. But there's this weird little thing that's happening right now, which is involved with, I don't know if you've ever been on the app or website Reddit. It's sort of like the underwebs of whatever.
Is it a social media?
No, it's more like a message board. So it's like, it's sort of like a forum, but it has everything you could ever fucking dream of as like topics and stuff. So like there's this one group on there that was Reddit stock. Hold on. It was Wall Street bets. So it's all like, it was now. I mean, dude, I've watched it. So I've been a part of that since like the beginning of the pandemic. And it was like, I don't know, a couple 100,000 people. It's up over 3.5 million people are watching that subreddit right now for like tips, tricks, whatever. And so I hopped on one yesterday. I should have got on it yesterday. I got on it this morning. But it was AMC. The movie theaters, which movie theaters were dead, right? Well, their stock today went up through the fucking roof.
They know something we don't.
They were up 301% today. So
is Top Gun happening?
I think Top Gun's going to save it. We never did talk about Tom. Did you hear Tom Cruise's rant on the whole fucking we got the fucking whole movie industry on our back?
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking douchebag or something. But yeah, so I don't know, playing the stocks today. Had some fun. Got some other stocks that I'm looking at moving on. So we'll see what happens. They're down big after hours, so I don't know what the fuck that means, but whatever.
I got no idea.
I was up big today, so I was happy.
All right.
Let's see. What else? We've got
13 days out from hip surgery.
13 days from the official days. So the 10th? 9th?
2 weeks from yesterday. They moved it up a week.
That works.
Yep. So.
What are we going to do in celebration? You going to hula?
I don't know. I got to see when I can gyrate these, take this baby for a spin. How long I got to wait to spin the tires.
So I didn't really mention this. on here yet, but my grandmother-in-law, which is kind of weird, my wife's grandmother, fell, broke her hip, ended up breaking the socket part. So they did an emergency hip replacement. They had her up, sitting up the next day. I was like, Jesus, she's in her 80s, 84.
They said, from what I'm seeing, is they had me up walking the same day. I mean, her situation was a little bit different where she fell and she's 80 something years old. But they say like they have you up putting full weight on it the same day. So, and in some cases, they even send you home from the hospital the same day.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Although,
so
I mean, at this point, I really wouldn't want to spend too much time in the hospital if you can avoid it.
Well, I mean, I don't even know where they're going to put me. They're all full.
Are they full?
That's what they say.
I still don't know if I believe that.
Neither do I, but that's what they say. And that's all I'm going to say about that. We're moving on. Hip surgery.
No, we're not. No, we're not moving on from that.
No. New testing.
Are you gonna partake in it? It's coming out of Wuhan as the best way to do it, and I think this is just the final straw that just shows this is all a fucking sham. Is the best way, right up the butt, right up the old buttholes.
Instead of swabbing your nose, they swab the old leather starfish.
Yeah,
more accurate.
The fecal matter holds on to the coronas a little bit longer.
Maybe that is like the ultimate test. Like they're always saying these rapid tests aren't very accurate. Maybe this is the way to go.
I mean,
imagine a drive-through testing site.
Yeah, just go ahead and stick your asshole out the window at us. Okay, thanks.
Do you want me to swab it or do you want to?
Yeah. You gonna warm that up before you send it in, or?
I brought my own lube.
There was in that article there was this girl that was like, oh yeah, I had to get tested twice in a day. It wasn't that bad. It was actually more pleasant than the nasal swab. And I'm like, well, I bet your father's proud.
Yeah. I didn't feel a thing, Dad.
I go back and do that again? Like, it's fucked.
Chinaman.
There's something.
Yeah.
So yeah, Feb 9th.
New hip.
Big day. New hips.
Can't wait.
Those hips don't lie.
No, I'm going to be shaking like Shakira in a few weeks, folks.
What is the first goal? So what's the goal? Just get them moving, get them going.
Yep, get me going. My first like major goal this summer is as little and as like meaningless as it sounds, is to climb or hike Mount A.
Okay.
So I figured that's a it's a small scale goal. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
So that's going to be, that's like one of my first, and then just basically, I want to see how much, like, I don't know. I just got to take it one step at a time, essentially, and literally.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Just go.
So I'm, I guess my first is get the surgery done, get as recovered as possible, and get back to work.
Yeah.
And then this summer I'd like to do that, which I don't think that's out of the question.
No.
So
bless you.
Thank you. Forgot to mute. My bad.
Okay. We got bless you again.
Here we go. Hopefully I may have one more in a second here.
Maybe. I'm trying to see what's trending on Twitter, and I really don't. Oh, Jason Witten's retiring again. And he's apparently going to sign a one-day deal with the Cowboys so he can retire as a Cowboy for the second time now. I wish Jerry Jones would be like, nah, fuck you, buddy. You walked out of these fucking doors.
Yeah, right.
I mean, why should he fucking...
Exactly.
Like, that would be like someone working for you, right? Working with you at your place of employment right now. Quitting or retire. Say, all right, I'm going to retire. I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to work on small engines. Then going down the road to fucking, what's that shithole place that rents tractors? MB. And being like, well, maybe I'll work on small engines here for 2 years. And then goes, okay, well, that was fun. Can I come back and work for you one more day just so I can say that I finished my career with Elliott Small Engine? Like, no. Get fucked, you cocksucker.
Speaking of football.
Yes.
So Tom Brady does it again.
Tom Brady did do it again. It was damn good, too. It was a good game. I still don't understand how the man can throw 3 interceptions. And
I said it exactly. And win the fucking game.
And that's where, like, a lot of people were like, oh, I can't believe Aaron Rodgers couldn't come back from it. And it's like, your defense, and I mean, some of it is on the offense, obviously, because you were gifted 3 turnovers in one half and turned them into, I think, a total of 3 points. And Rodgers and the fumble was 2 turnovers and they turned it into 14. So, I mean, big difference, but dude, it was the defensive line for the Bucs is scary.
Yeah. And so I was talking about it with a guy at work today. I'm like, so let's pretend Tom Brady is still in the Patriots and the same thing is happening. We're going back for a 10th Super Bowl. People would be losing their shit. Like saying Tom Brady, there's no reason he should be there. He's sucks, da-da-da-da-da. But now, like, everybody is just stroking his dick.
Yeah.
It's well-deserved. But if he was still on the Patriots and this happened, that everybody would have still fucking hated him.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, like, I mean, at the beginning of the year, there was very, very, very many people, including, I believe, this podcast. Well, at least I thought he was going to make it to the Super Bowl.
I called him a bum.
You did call him a bum. And I also thought Patty Mahomes was probably going to make it back to the Super Bowl. As much as I hate that little fuck.
It's like the old guard versus the new guard.
It's not the new guard. He's a piece of shit. I fucking hate Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. I would rather see a running back as a quarterback in the game than Patrick Mahomes.
So, one thing I was thinking about, Tom Brady, if Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl, do you think he just needs to opt out of his contract and hang it up?
No.
You keep going?
Why not?
I don't know.
What does he have to prove? Well, everything. Think about it. The competitiveness of that man is unlike anyone I've ever seen. I mean, it's like him and Tiger. Like, Tiger just went out for back surgery again. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'll be back. Like, whatever. I'll be like 55. Fuck it. I'll still come back and beat the shit out of people. Oh, look at that. Little mute sesh. What a kind soul that Hugh McDougall is. But I really think that Tom Brady would not. I think he would try and run it back again.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't really know how much and like how structured their contracts are for year to year or whatever for everyone else on the team.
Yeah.
Like, I think Leonard Fournette's only a year. I don't know what Ndamukong Suh, JPP. I don't know what Gronk signed, if it was a 1 or 2 year deal.
I think it was a 1 year, $10 million deal or something.
Yeah, same thing with like AB, Mike Evans, Godwin, like, and that's kind of always a thing, and that's always been the hardest part of watching when the Patriots did bring in big stars. Like they brought in Randy Moss 1 year. They brought in Revis 1 year. Revis comes in, gets the Super Bowl, and says, "I want to go back to the Jets." Like, who the fuck wants to go back to the Jets? Like,
Randy Moss ended up staying a few years though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's short term, right? So you can't afford to pay all these people. Who knows what the salary cap's going to do next year? Now, would I fault him for retiring? Not at all. I mean, especially if he wins. So I'm wondering, is this a 2-year deal? And somewhere in that fucking deal, it says if I win a Super Bowl in the first year, we're all good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I said this on the radio this morning. For years, the world has been searching outer space for aliens. And for 20 years, one played right in New England, in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And now he plays in Florida. And his name's Tom Brady. He's not human.
Well, is he not human, or does he just have it figured out? Because, I mean,
he's doing something. But he's got it figured out.
The TB12 seems pretty legit. I
don't know. I didn't get much out of it.
What'd you do from it? Just read the letters, fucking TB and the number 12, and said, "Nah, fucking good enough."
Yeah, I read the rules and I was like, "No." That's where it stops.
And I think I don't know. What would you do? Would you be done?
Yeah.
But
I'm also not an elite athlete.
I think I kind of have that idea that it's like I would rather someone like it's sort of like Sick and Sadistic. Have you ever seen the what's the fucking movie? It's got Sean William Scott in it. It's like The Enforcers. It's the Enforcer movie, hockey movie. Might be called The Enforcer. I don't know. Anyways, he comes into the league and he's just a goon, and he goes up against this other guy. Other guy beats the living fucking shit out of him. And then, like, finally their last fight, he fucking kills the other guy. Like, not kills him, but like beats him up. And then the guy retires. So is that what Brady's waiting for? Like a fucking just a good old ass whooping to then just say,
not.
I hope not too, but at the same time, like, why not? Why not?
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Mahomes, KC, and Reed just put the absolute boots to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. And Tom's like, you know what?
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it does
either go out on top or go out on the bottom.
Yeah, either go out in a body bag or go out on top.
I guess there's as much chance with either. Now, the other thing I want to bring up as far as football goes is, and I know you've watched the conversation for sure, but Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
How hard would your nipples get if he came to the New England Patriots?
So I'm just not even going to put up with that because there's no fucking way.
Not a chance.
So it's exactly the same reason. So, well, although something did come out today, which kind of fucks up this whole idea, but I'm still going to say it, is that there's no way that Rodgers would go somewhere where he's going to be compared to another great. With the exception of maybe like the 49ers, just because I think he would actually choose the LA Rams over the 49ers, just because 49ers does have that kind of story tradition where you're always going to be compared to fucking Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Yeah.
But there's no way. I'd love to see Matty Stafford. I think he can sling it. I think he'd be loved in Boston.
I already love him.
Yeah. I think he would fit in great. I don't think there's any way he doesn't go anywhere but Indy. If Indy's smart, they'll sign him. But yeah, I guess Jim Irsay came out today and said that Chris Ballard and he were on the same page and wanted to go after Brady, But Frank Reich said, no, I have relations with Phil Rivers. I'd rather bring Phil Rivers. I was like, I can't believe Jim Irsay would want to bring Tom Brady into that building to potentially disrupt like the Peyton legacy.
Yeah.
Because what did Peyton win? 2 rings?
Well, he won one as a Colt, right?
Yeah.
Then one as a.
So honestly, if he had come in and quarterbacked that fucking team this year, that team was good. Indy's good. Indy's going to be very good. If Tom Brady's there, it's going to be the same fucking thing as what happened in Tampa Bay. He'd be in the fucking Super Bowl. And then the conversation would be, oh, who's the best fucking Colts quarterback? Because Brady came in and fucking turned him around. Like, I can't believe Jim Irsay would want to like taint that legacy of Peyton. But I guess, I mean, at the same time, Peyton walked out the door. Well, they kind of closed the door on Peyton, and they're like, yeah, fuck you. See ya. We cut you. And then he went to Denver and won. I don't see Rodgers going anywhere other than an LA team.
Yeah.
Or like a Cali team.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way because he's from there.
Right, he's from there, and what's his why would he leave? Like he's been very passionate, and he was on Pat's show. I don't know if you watched the interview, but he came on this week, which was a shock to, well, basically everybody in the world.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like, I was just basically referencing the fact of like, none of our destinies are in our own hands. Like they could decide to cut me I mean, yeah, they'd have to pay me like no shit, but anyone can decide to cut anyone at any time, and nobody's playing career is guaranteed.
Yeah.
But then he also said, I would love to retire as a Green Bay Packer. That's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else. And he's like, but at the same time, could I go somewhere else? Yeah. There's 100% chance that they could fucking cut me tomorrow. And I mean, Matt LaFleur's come out, and the owner or the GM of the Packers, Gunter Kuntz or whatever the fuck that is like, no, we want Aaron. And it's like, okay. But it's also, I think Aaron's also smart enough to what he said. He said what he said for a reason.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it has to do with, okay, Aaron threw for fucking 390 or something and 3 touchdowns, and they still lose.
Yeah.
Like, can your defense stop a fucking anything? I mean, the Buccaneers just rolled, and they were rolling. I mean, and I think maybe it wasn't his call, maybe it wasn't LaFleur's call to fucking kick the field goal.
Yeah, see, they should have gone for it.
I think you got to, don't you? I mean, you're down 8. Go for it. So you kick a field goal, now you kick off, and you kick it into the fucking end zone, and they start on the 30. Or you fucking don't get it, you're on the 8. You don't convert, and they start on the 8. And they've got to go 92 yards versus 70.
Yeah.
And the fuck, I forget what it was. The average starting position for the Packers was like the 22 or the 21, whereas the fucking Buccaneers started on an average of like the 37.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, if you've got to go 17 or 18 less yards per drive, like obviously you're going to be better off. But
yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was a good game. The Packers or the Bills fucking stupid Kansas City Chiefs game just sucked.
Yeah.
There's no hope for fucking the Bills. Like, oh, okay, they're up 9-0. Well, fucking yeah, you're gonna get curb stomped. Sorry. Like, you guys were not gonna stop anything, especially Travis Kelce, which I hate him even more today.
Yeah, I don't like Travis Kelce.
The only like funny thing in this whole process is that Lev Bell and Antonio Brown are both in the Super Bowl after their departures from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting off season.
Oh, you got 2 weeks till the Super Bowl, so there's that.
I mean, and Aaron Rodgers, you think he's got to be league MVP, right?
Oh, he has to be. There's no way. I mean,
who are the other options?
I mean, you could put Brady in there. He's had a fucking big ass year.
Yeah.
40 something tutters. The only other person I could see potentially getting it, actually, I don't even know what his stats were like for the year, but let's look up fucking QB stats. I don't think there's any way you give it to anybody other than Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think you can.
I mean, maybe. You know what's messed up, though? Even though Aaron Rodgers had way more touchdowns than anybody else, Deshaun Watson actually passed for the most yards this year.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. Huh. Yeah. I just don't think there's any. Hey, Cam Newton passed for the fewest. Look at that. I mean,
moving away from football.
Okay.
As I'm sure all of our listeners know, and you know, ammo is fucking scarce right now.
It is rather hard to find.
If it's got 9mm or 223 involved in the caliber, good luck.
Yeah.
But I through a connection, I have a friend that works at the trading post.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said the trading post, but I have a friend that works at an establishment. I got some inside information, and they set some aside for me.
Well, insider trading?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they set aside more than I'm allowed to buy. They set aside what you're allowed to purchase, which is 2 boxes. So I went into customer service last night to pick it up, and I'm like, I'm here to pick up an order. Gave them my name, and they're like, oh, okay. And they walk over, and they lean down underneath the counter, and they pull out a paper bag, and they walk over, and they slide it over to me. And she's like, this stuff is like gold. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to need an escort getting out of here.
Yeah.
And she laughed. But one thing I'll give them credit for is they're not like, a lot of places are gouging prices right now.
Yeah.
They're not.
So, if anybody wants to take a ride, Indian Hill Trading Post, plenty of ammunitions up there.
I wish you would have called me.
I don't know what they had for pistols. I just know they had a ton of shotgun ammo and a ton of hunting ammo. I think they did have some pistol stuff. I didn't really look. I really wasn't there for that, but
yeah,
we had quite the trip this weekend up to the old Mooseheads. It gets cold up there, bud. I mean, I was telling you today, Sunday was the coldest day up there. I don't believe it got above 5 degrees without any wind. And it blew no less than 30 miles an hour pretty much all day straight. We went out and fished in the morning from 6 to 12:30-ish. And it might have gotten up to about 8 or 9 degrees because at about 12:30, the wind, we were in like a little protected area, so we didn't have the wind on us. And it felt good. Like, it felt nice. You could take off your gloves. Dude, the morning, though, holy shit. But it also does that, like, now, like, it's so funny how, like, cold weather works, where it's like, okay, went through that. It was cold all weekend, but dress for it, kind of hang out, figure it out, be fine. now at home it's 36 degrees and I'm outside in a fucking t-shirt and shorts. Like,
yeah, right.
It's funny how quickly your body like
Adapts.
does adapt to that cold where it's like, okay, like I can handle this. Like it's not terrible. I mean, Sunday was pretty fucking terrible. It was actually, so I've got a massive dome. Like it's just I got a big head, big brain, big head. You know how it goes.
Sure, it's not hair.
Some of it is hair. There's definitely some of that back there. But hats don't fit my head real good. So I actually had the wife pick up. She had to go up to the trading post, and she picked up one of the Mad Bomber like hats.
Yeah.
So I could buckle it down so it couldn't pull off my head, because like all day Saturday, like my hat just kept rising up, and then like only the tips of my ears were under the hat, like looked like an old timer.
Yeah.
And I was getting annoyed with it. So she picked that up. The next morning, it is so fucking windy and so cold. And I mean, we are driving straight into it on a brand new 2020 Can-Am Outlander 850 HT Max or whatever. Fucking nice machine. It was good purchase by the neighbor. Great purchase by the neighbor. So he's driving, and they're now like full 2-ups. Like it's like a sled, like it's built for it. And he and I on that together, we weren't even touching. Like that's how much room is on these fucking things.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And he also did pay to put in the heated hand grips for the driver and the passenger.
What a guy.
Yeah. So I think that was more of maybe a wife call, but I took full advantage of it on Sunday morning in the dark. Headed off, we're fucking headlamps and headlights on the fucking four-wheeler, headed off into a fucking goddamn 60-mile-an-hour headwind. And so I'm like trying to look and watch, and I just kind of got this inkling, and I was like, I don't give a fuck where we're going. So I took my headlamp off, and I'm like fidgeting around. He's like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, just keep going. And I like stuffed my headlamp. I wrapped the headlamp around my arm twice so I didn't drop it. And then I just pulled the front flap, the fuzzy flap that doesn't look like it does anything, fucking right down over the eyeballs. Fucking, I don't need to see where I'm going. I don't give a fuck. I ain't driving, because my eyeballs were like I could feel my eyelashes. They were frozen together. My eyes were starting to like literally freeze. Like it was fucking ridiculous. But yeah, just tossed that down over the old eyeballs and just sat there with my eyes closed and just kind of rode it out. I was comfy. And we get there. So we get up to where we're going, and he's like, man, my eyeballs were freezing. I was like, yeah, mine were too, until I put down my flap and I couldn't see a thing, and I just stayed nice and warm. So appreciate you driving. He goes, yeah, should have brought some fucking goggles. Goggles would have been a good idea. Yeah. But no, it was fun. Kids had a blast. As much as they could. I mean, kind of hard to keep a kid out in 10-degree weather.
Yeah. But
with the shack, I mean, inside the shack was like 40s, 50s.
Yeah, next year I'm in for a boys trip.
Yeah, so that was the other discussion was, okay, we can do a day trip somewhere, or even like a weekend, like Sebago or someplace under an hour probably would be what I would shoot for. Do a family fun weekend. Yeah. Sebago or Moosehead is not a family friendly fishing trip.
No, that's a boys trip.
Yeah, and because I mean, even like the wives being like, well, we want to be back by like 5:30 for dinner and go. I'm like, literally, I mean, I'm an ignorant son of a bitch when it comes to going hunting or fishing. Like we went out for 6 hours on Monday or on Sunday. You want to know what I brought? 4 cigars and this water bottle. That was it.
No beers?
No beers. Forgot the beers. Also happened to maybe get a little drunk on Saturday night and left the beers outside. So the beers were slushy beers. I mean, they still would have worked, but we would have had to warm them up. We did have some beer that was not frozen, but we kind of forgot that, mainly because at the bottom of the hill from the house we rented, there was a snowdrift. And the day before coming back, it was about a 2-foot snowdrift. And at 5:30 in the morning when we walked outside to go look, it was about a 6-foot snowdrift.
From all the snow blowing up the lake.
Blowing all down the lake, all basically to us. So we had to get up. And then that was the worst part, because now like you're shoveling. So we had to clear out the snowdrift, shovel it wide enough to get the 4-wheeler out with the sleds behind it. So now you're sweating your bag off because you're dressed for fucking 0-degree weather, but now you're actually working pretty hard. And then hop right on the machine and freeze your dick off. It's like fantastic. But it was fun. I mean, we had a blast. We didn't end up actually even having a fucking flag that morning, which was frustrating as fuck. But a couple fish the day before, and then really wrapped up the weekend. It was a good weekend. It was a lot. It was cold, and it was a lot to have the girls and the wives and everything up there. I think it's too much. It's just one of those things where it's like, you make a trip like that is so far, like, okay, well, we want to hang out and do this. We want to play games at the house. And it's like, all right, well, I just drove 3.5 hours. I'd like to just fish. Like, there's big fish up here. Let's go find them. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I mean, definitely some of it too being like, okay, Moosehead is a dangerous, dangerous fucking place. It's not a place you want to fuck around. It's not a place that you really want to take any chances. So it's like
big lake.
It's a big lake, and it can fucking change in a hurry.
Yeah.
So that played part of our decision too, not to be like, okay, well, let's run 3 miles. Like,
yeah,
you can run 3 miles, no problem, on a quad, like whatever. You can do 20, 30 with the fucking sleds covered up and hunkered down. But now it's like, okay, now we got to shuffle all the people out, like without renting more sleds and just bringing more shit into it. So
yeah,
we do it next year. I may try and talk the father-in-law into let me take his sled or something.
Yeah. Or just buy your own.
Could do that.
Side by side.
I mean, if I didn't have to go to the fucking Indian Hill fucking trading post to buy fucking pull cord, maybe I'd be buying a fucking snowmobile or something. If I didn't have to fucking put back together a perfectly running, just tuned up, freshly tuned ice auger that snapped on day one.
And that's why I didn't give you any shit about the side by side while you're up there.
I think George needs to buy a side-by-side on tracks. Although, actually, watching one of those go across the ice, because I think the Wardens have one. Mm-hmm. I think it was the Wardens running theirs, rather. I know they have one. And I know other people do, but like there's just like a little 2-door, 2-seater UTV on tracks. That is not a comfortable ride. Like just watching them get fucking tossed in the fucking cab.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so you're getting jostled around, but you're not in the elements. So is it really that bad? Yeah. Especially if it's snowing or.
Yeah. And with tracks, you can put them on an ITS trail.
Right. So may have been looking at some things. May also. I don't like calling in like family favors and stuff, but I do have like the vice president of Polaris might be my cousin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I may have texted him slightly inebriated, asking him if he knew any good Can-Am dealers. I kind of sort of forgot which company he worked for, but it happens.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, what was that? The Bucks are wearing their white with pewter pants for the Super Bowl. Chiefs are wearing their red jerseys. But yeah, so definitely in the market for something. I've found a couple already, but
that's one thing I want to do when as I get more active and stuff is get a 4-wheeler or a quad or a side-by-side.
See, the problem, well, so it's kind of twofold right now. So put a dope ass cap on my truck that I got for $150 before last episode.
Yeah.
Ended up fixing it, putting it all together, getting it on the truck, then stuffing my truck. Because I didn't want to, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. So packed my truck full. I love the cap. Absolutely love it. I'm a big proponent of caps at this point in my life. So I'm like, okay, well, anything I get, I got to put on a trailer.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have to trailer it, why not get a 4-person UTV?
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense for you, especially with the kids.
Right. Because so it's either that or I get a 2-up and I have to have a sled and I have to have enough snow and ice and parking lots to drag a sled, behind, which I mean, I'm probably going to have to drag a sled with shit behind me anyways, but.
Yeah. But a sled, like a jet sled, you can put on the trailer and then shove it underneath the side-by-side.
Well, it doesn't even matter because I have the truck, so I still have the whole back. Like, that's what we did. I mean, coming home was a little disheveled because we did fish the morning a little bit. So we packed out the house, then fished the morning, and then, when we drove up, I had all my ice fishing stuff on the bottom, and then just put everything on top of it. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. Traps are protected. Like, it's good. But then on the way home, it was like, okay, well, I got all my fucking clothes and bags and food and all that. And it's like, well, everything's going on top. Fuck it. Like, just such a shit show. And then I got home, and that's the nice thing with the shop is literally just threw the door open, threw the truck doors open, and just everything out. I fucking detailed my truck on Monday.
Yeah.
Then I went and washed it, and then it snowed. And it's covered in fucking salt again.
That's the way it goes. Speaking of trucks, I got my LED lights installed.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it today. I should have.
They are fucking bright. 7,000 lumens.
So it's one bar?
Yeah, 22 inches wide. It faces back. It's just got a single switch, and it's impressive. I'll have to show you next time I see you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would like to put something on my truck like that. Well, I know what I want to do. It's just I don't have the time, and I don't really want to take the effort to do it because I need to replace my bumper anyways. But I would love to recess like 2-inch LED lights in each side of the bumper, just to help with like fucking duck hunting. Boat launches, and I'd really like to do 4, like put 2 straight back and then 2 like kind of on angles so I can like see the edges of my trailer and shit. But I don't know. Doesn't help that I tint all my trucks and I can't see out the fucking windows. It was dark outside.
I've got LED reverse lights that I put in. Those make a huge difference, but I really got to roll down my window when I back up because of my tint.
Yeah. I mean, the LED tail lights help for sure. The reverse lights, they help a ton, but also when you're like backing up to a boat ramp that drops off, you can't see. There's nothing for the light to hit. So it's like, all right, well, I got to be looking at the ground and I can't see the ground with my fucking lights and my fucking tint. So, I mean, maybe tint's a bad idea. No, it looks too cool to be a bad idea.
I agree. What else we got?
Well, you getting into any Super Bowl squares?
No, not this year.
I thought about it, and I don't think I'm going to.
No.
I don't know. There's a lot of duck boats for sale that I've been looking at.
Oh boy.
Nothing gonna move yet. That's the thing. I don't know. So next week, maybe next week, I don't know. No, we'll wait to tease that till later. Was there anybody talk? Go all. George says, go all in on TB12 and how Green Bay was outcoached. It was a team win for Tampa Bay and a coaching fail. Yeah. Yes and no, I would say.
Coaching fail for Green Bay?
I don't know if I would call it a complete fail, but I would also not necessarily say. I mean, to not get points off of turnovers is fucking huge.
Yeah. You got to capitalize on those.
And I don't think there's too many times that a quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions and won a game. Like,
yeah.
Exactly. I didn't say anything, and I try not to during a game because I don't want to ever be the reason to feel like I jinxed anything. But at the end of the first half, when everyone was tweeting and talking about, oh, Rodgers is going to double up here, like the classic, like what Brady and Belichick did in New England for fucking 20 fucking years, which was score at the end of the second quarter and then have the first possession out of the third quarter and fucking double up 14 points, bang, 4 minutes. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And when fucking, I think, was he picked off? I think Rodgers got picked off.
Yeah.
And then how you give up that fucking play to Scotty Miller, who, okay, sick. Like, he just runs a deep route and Brady fucking throws it in his breadbasket. Like, it was the fucking easiest play ever. It's almost one of those, like, how you call, what team was that? Was it the Jets that did that? They just ran a cover 0 at the end of the game to fucking lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how you do that there, where you know, like, what else is he gonna do? Like, give him the fucking field goal. Don't give him the end zone. Like, you know, there's like 6 seconds left whenever fucking Scotty Miller fucking caught that fucking ball. Like, yeah. I just, whatever. But once they scored that touchdown, I was like, there's no fucking way. I love Aaron Rodgers and I love what he is about. And I think he is a great quarterback, but I don't think he's had the weapons around him that he needs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Green Bay's problem is other than their defense really sucks. And they've kind of made it work with the offense, but I mean, really, besides Devontae, okay, you have Mercedes, who's what, fucking 70? Like, I just, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think I would like to see Aaron Rodgers not pull a Brett Favre and leave, but at the same time, someone did say that, you know, Brett Favre had 16 years. This is Aaron's 16th year, and I think Bart Starr, who was before Favre, also had 16 years. So it's like, is this the kiss of death? Is it the Black Widow? Is it, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting. But then Brett Favre came back and played, who did he play for? Vikings
and the Jets.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And then retired.
Again. Well, that's the thing. It's like he retired out of Green Bay. Like once Aaron took over that year, he retired.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever. And then he came back the next year and said, yeah, I still want to play. I think everyone kind of learned from him not to ever fucking do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some guys like Jason Witten, who just retired again, but Gronkowski, but Gronk was more of a medical, not like a, I'm done. I'm too old. And then you get back and you're like, okay, nope, I still got it. Like I still got the juice. Like,
yeah,
there's guys like T.O. that I think would still go out right now. There's, like a Randy Moss. Randy Moss still has the juice to want to go, but he's got to know that he can't handle that. Like, so what's your early prediction on the Super Bowl?
Tampa Bay 34-28.
Close game, huh? I'm going to say Tampa 28-10. It's going to be another boring game.
All right.
I don't think that I don't know. I say that, but then I look at like KC's amount of weaponry and it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Travis Kelce, who, whether you like it, I hate it, but he's a good tight end in their system.
Yeah.
I think he's a goddamn buffoon and a cocksucker, but whatever. Tyreek Hill, who can literally take the top off of anyone. Mm-hmm. And then, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Lev Bell. So, and you've got a fucking mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Although, who knows if his turf toe will heal up. Hearing them talk about so much about fucking turf toe, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I've never had turf toe, but God, it can't be that bad to not be able to fucking walk around in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
You watching any new shows or anything?
No, I'm kind of saving it for when I'm laid up.
Good plan.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch everything.
Have you seen Icarus? That's a good one. Keep that on the list.
I'm going to watch one of my plans is I'm going to watch Sons of Anarchy over again because I love that series.
I liked season 1, and then season 2 got a little much, and then I went back and watched the end, and I did watch the end.
And then I'm going to watch Letterkenny from the beginning.
That's a good binge.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna pretty much give Hulu and Netflix a run for their money.
Okay.
So,
what do you think about the boxing event? Did you see anything on that? Logan Paul and Ben Askren?
No.
So
Ben Askren's that dude that was on the Pat McAfee show at one point, right?
He was on the Pat McAfee show at one point. Gave a good interview. Then they just had on Matt something yesterday. I forget what the dude's name was, but he just fought this weekend. He was co-main event with Connor, who Connor got his fucking skull bashed in.
Yeah.
UFC card. Michael Chandler. So Michael Chandler came back for the lightweight division. The co-main knocked the living shit out of a guy and basically called out everybody. It was pretty hilarious. Like, he cut a fucking pretty funny promo, basically just saying, because he came from Bellator. Like, he was huge in Bellator. He's 22-5 as a professional. And just fucking pretty heavy-handed. And he came back and said, I want fucking everybody. I don't give a fuck. Just give me fucking everyone. Just feed me. But he was talking about, Ben Askren. I guess they went to college together. Him and someone else and another fighter all went to the same college. And he's like, well, yeah, the dude, he's a fucking world-class wrestler and UFC fighter. Like, he's not the most heavy-handed. He's not even known for his boxing, like, whatsoever. Yeah. The dude literally just had a hip replaced. So the dude had a hip replaced in September, and he's going to fight in whatever that is, February, March, April, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got big hopes for you and your hip replacement.
I don't think I'm going to be boxing.
No, you don't want to box Logan Paul?
No.
What about if you boxed... parts manager for MB?
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of assholes up there, eh?
Yeah, they're a bunch of douchebags. You been in there?
Nope.
No.
Just heard.
Yeah, they're not nice people.
So,
don't care.
We forgot this on the last episode. What's Huey's small engine tip? We got to come up with a name for this. Huey's Motor Minute.
Small engine talk with Huey.
Small talks with Hughes.
Yeah. Let's see. Still a good time to get your mower worked on.
Yeah. We do have snow in the future, though. So
we do. It's always a good time to make sure your generator works. And actually, so if you're using a chainsaws, the difference between a dull chain and a sharp chain is if you notice yourself putting any sort of pressure on that saw to get it through what you're cutting,
switch the
chain. Put a sharp chain on. Stop. Put a sharp chain on and go back. All you're going to do is cause damage to the chainsaw and potentially yourself.
Yep.
A dull chain is dangerous, more dangerous than a sharp chain, just like a knife.
Exactly like a knife. The other important thing with that, when you do switch the chains, is make sure you put the chain on the right way. Just saying.
Point forward.
Points forward from the top.
Forward.
I mean, allegedly. I don't know what could have happened, but did we? I don't remember if we talked about my little chainsaw fucking apparatus that I made.
Yes.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, that thing rips. And with that nice 391 steel, she's got some horses behind her.
64 cc's.
That's a big saw.
Yep.
It's a bitch after a while.
It's heavy.
She thick.
Yep. Thick with 2 C's.
Yeah. But yeah, it was I don't know. It was a cool little find, so
neat little gadgets like that are fun.
Yeah. Well, something that can work out. And I think I'm going to change up the design, go a little more in depth on it, a little more fine tuning. But this was Rev 1. I think what I'll end up doing is adding on a little bit. Yeah. It'll make sense when you see it. So what else we got?
It's just scrolling through the socials.
Whoa. Are they really? Or is that this morning? When did he post that? Oh, yeah, he posted that 11 hours ago. So let's see. Let's see what everything's doing fucking after hours. After hours trading is weird. I don't really get it. Like at all. Oh. I don't know what all this means. I sort of kind of know what I'm doing, but I also don't know what I'm doing at all. So it's kind of fun. It's like, well, we just want to see the fucking price go up. All right. Sounds good. Buy low, sell high. That's going to be that's going to be the game plan. New Hampshire Arcade Museum needs help staying alive. Keeping the doors open. Huh. Fun
spot. They weren't in the last.
Fun spot in Laconia. Their American Classic Arcade Museum is a non-profit. Apparently during the COVIDs, they couldn't do anything, so they raised $50,000. And yeah, that's about it. I got bored with that article. Oh, do you remember Dream Machine?
Yes, I do.
In fucking
them in the mall.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh, what was a question I heard today? I wanted to ask you. Fuck. It was on the pod.
I haven't listened to the pod in a while.
It was a good question too. It was something like simple. I don't remember. Let's see here. Anything else on your socials?
No, not really.
Oil prices are going back up. That's nice.
Right. Because we all love paying a lot for gas.
Yep. Can't wait. What else we got going on? This weekend, there's no Pro Bowl, so that's fun.
Did they cancel it because of COVID, or did they just realize it's fucking a waste of time?
No, they canceled it allegedly because of the COVIDs, even though they're able to run a whole 17-week season. But, we can't do 1 week of Pro Bowls, except it is fucking stupid. Nobody fucking watches it because they won't do it right. Like, my opinion on the Pro Bowl is you bring back the quarterback competitions. You bring back, like, fastest fucking human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't even know if you play the game. Like, I think you just do, like, other, like, weird shit. Like,
yeah. Get rid of the game and just do some cool stuff.
Like, and it's also one of those things where, like, the game doesn't matter, like, at all.
Yeah.
At all.
None.
Where, like, MLB tries to tie it, and they're like, oh, well, the winner of the All-Star game gets home field advantage. So, like, okay, there's a little bit of incentive there, but really not really, because baseball sucks and nobody fucking cares about it. Although I was watching Pat today, and they had on Jeff Passan. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's a baseball writer, and he said he will be on next week on with McAfee for an article he's about to publish, and he said you're not going to want to miss it. So apparently old Jet Passan is sitting on some fucking news, so that should be good. I hate baseball. Baseball's dead to me. I guess they're talking about getting rid of the DH.
Mm-hmm. They've always talked about that.
No, but I think, like, they're, like, really moving towards it.
Oh, really?
Where I think they should institute the DH in all league, like the NL and the AL.
Yep.
And I think you should also let everybody juice all the fuck they want. Like, what are we doing? Like, why? But they were also talking about, like, so I guess Jeff Passan gave up his Hall of Fame vote.
Oh, really?
Yep. He had a Hall of Fame vote, and he's like, I thought it was really cool, and I thought it was really, unique, and, that was, it was something I took very seriously, and he was talking about it, and he goes, but then, they want to talk about character. So, like, guys like as bad as this sounds, but like, you know, Pete Rose, something like that. Like, you know, obviously he had his issues, but then you also have someone like, you know, Kurt Schilling, which even Kurt Schilling, you know, does he really deserve to be in the fucking Hall of Fame for what he did? Like, okay, he had one game where he fucking pitched with a fucking hurt ankle. Like, fucking congratulations, you fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
But you know, there's other. If you're gonna bring in the intangibles and the off the field stuff, like I don't think that's what it should be. I think the Hall of Fame for baseball is the Hall of Fame for baseball. The best player to play the baseballs gets in. I don't give a fuck what the person does in their personal life. I mean, short of like murdering people, I think we probably shouldn't put like murderers in theirs.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, maybe if someone's really, really good at it. Like, I don't know. But it's like, because like, and that's where he was like, you know, you see guys like, you know, McGuire and Sosa, they'll never make it in. And it's like, and you can't even say that those guys didn't mean the world to that style, that type of baseball when you've got
Rose. Pete Rose is a perfect example. Like, I mean, he's like one of the best baseball players to ever play the game.
Well, and even they were talking about Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, you want to say Barry Bonds cheated and did roids allegedly. I mean, I don't know how your fucking head grows as much as that dude's head grew, but
he had arms like these.
He did. Just like those
cannons.
But and it was actually Gumpy that brought it up today, and he goes, if you look at fucking Barry Bonds' numbers before he allegedly started taking roids, it was like 40 fucking home runs a year and an OBS of like 600. Like, it was insane what the dude was capable of. And so it's like, okay, so yeah. And then everyone else and their fucking brother started taking roids. So obviously you're going to do it too. I mean, it's very similar, like the Lance Armstrong thing. Like that documentary I mentioned earlier, Icarus, like that's all about Russia and how Russia doped the Olympics with all their athletes and how they got around it and how they fucking compromised the testing. It was wild. But I mean, it's the lengths that people will go to be the best in the world. And I don't know, like, okay, I get the fucking sanity or the sanctity of the game and all this, but it's like, well, if you fucking make it a level playing field, like, how do you really, like, I don't know. And then you sit there and go, okay, well, if you're going to say that Barry Bonds brought disgrace onto the fucking game, well, then how about Babe Ruth not playing against black people and Hispanics? Like, is he the best baseball player? Was he the Babe because he was playing against dudes ripping smokes at fucking on the bench and fucking smoking while they pitched and throwing basically BP to fucking Babe Ruth? Like, is he the best? I don't know. But it's always that generational evolution of all of every sport.
Exactly.
Because it's the fucking Jordan, Kobe, LeBron conversation. It's the fucking Tom Brady, Joe Namath, fucking whoever else you want to say is as good as Tom Brady, which there's nobody. So, you know, it's that conversation. But I think that a sport like baseball, where you've got guys now throwing, like Babe Ruth probably would fucking not get a hit in today's MLB.
This is true.
Bless you. So is he the best? Is he one of the greatest ever? No. Fuck him. Fat fuck. And do you really think like he was living up to standards? Like today's standards of our woke cultured selves that we just got to cancel fucking everybody and their fucking brother?
Absolutely not.
Right. So but we'll say he's in the Hall of Fame and you walk in and you see him right there in Cooperstown. Like, he is one of the fucking, most well-known baseball players ever, and probably has a shit ton of racist shit behind him. But, that's okay because it's Babe Ruth. But Barry Bonds fucking stuck a needle in his ass and grew his head to be fucking 3 times bigger than his fucking it was the day before. I don't know. At what point do you just what point do you care?
Yeah, exactly.
And the way the game has changed and everything, like, is it really fair? Is it the same game today as it was? I mean, it's like the guys, like all the passing records, like every passing record ever will just continually be broken over and over and over, like in the NFL, just because the way the game's evolved. So it's like, does that make a quarterback in the 70s less of a quarterback than versus like a fucking Deshaun Watson who led the league and fucking went 4-10? Like,
yeah, it's sports are wild.
And there's never ever going to be. But I think you have to look at it in eras. And I think you have to look at, like, okay, the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa era.
Yeah.
Those dudes are the most important people to the game of baseball. Were they polarizing? Were they maybe doing stuff illegally? Well, it's up for debate, but was it all illegal at the time they were doing it? Because I know some of the stuff wasn't. I mean, it's like, what's his fucking name that was doing it was Ray Lewis. The fucking deer antler spray.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, what was he doing with it?
It was like a fucking topical ointment that he was spraying on that was like helping his muscles and shit. And they're like, yeah, no, you can't use that anymore. It's like, okay, well, was it illegal when I used it? No. Well, okay, then go fuck yourself. Like, if I'm doing something today that's not illegal, but it's illegal tomorrow, did I do something illegal?
Yeah. All right. Well, fella.
Tapped out for the evening?
I think I'm tapped out.
All right. Let's see. We might have to go back to fucking using the other one and doing Instagrams because nobody fucking is involved here on the book face.
Yeah, we should go back to Instagram so Katie can join us.
Oh, shit. Is that today? Oh. I missed Mushroom Matt. Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
I just went back and saw we had some comments from him after I was just about to bury everybody that doesn't listen. Whoops.
Whoops, daisy.
That's on me. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we'll be down to 6 days. So then we're going to have to take a little break. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how you feel after you get your fucking hip ripped out of you. You're going to try and you're going to keep the old parts?
I don't know if they'll let me. I'll ask.
I don't know what the fuck you do with them, but
put them in a bag with the rest of the parts that were in my hip.
Yeah.
It's actual bone, so I don't know if they'd let me.
Did you see the I think we might have talked about it. Alex Smith's wife, she had the Lombardi trophy made out of the fucking all the metal that was fucking holding his stupid leg together.
No, that's pretty cool.
Dude, it's awesome. I'll post a picture of it tonight on our socials. But yeah, Alex Smith's wife had because he had like that halo on his like whole lower leg. She ended up having it cut up by a metal artist and made into look like the Lombardi trophy.
That's pretty sweet.
It was fucking awesome. I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah. So Moosehead was fun. He was getting a hip.
I'm going to be a dancing fool.
Let's fucking get on with it.
Let's fucking go. Thanks for listening, folks.
Thanks for listening. Be a friend. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
And if you don't like it, go fuck yourselves. If you do like it, appreciate you.
Peace.